Hey everybody, Dan Thompson from Micah's Mile. I just thought I'd share a brief video quickly with you. A number of you have been asking how we do what we do in our studio and what does our studio look like? Is it big? How do we pull it off? Is it in our basement? Is it in a room? So I'm just going to share with you briefly right now. So we always start with salt and light. Matthew's always good to start with. And it's nothing too fancy, but we like it. Here's the main area called the mixing room. Here's Baden's guitar. He's our oldest son, and he's just learning guitar. We have a friend's violin hanging on the wall here. I think the strings are actually broken, but eventually we'll get to fixing it, and that's an instrument that I'm hoping to learn. And then we've got my Norman guitar, which doesn't have a pickup, but it's great for recording. And I got that from some friends of ours. They graciously surprised me with that. And I've got my Takamine, whatever you call it, guitar that I've had for years. Got that at a pawn shop in downtown Toronto. And it's seen better days, but I still love the tone in it. And then we've got my daughter's acoustic, and my son Baden just got another guitar, which is his acoustic, which is the same one. And if you've got young kids and they're learning, we actually got these. They're really cheap from Excess Cargo. I think they're $79, and they come with a pickup, and you can plug them in, and they play them at church, and it's a pretty neat buy. And here's my American Stratocaster from, I think, 1990. I got that, and it used to be the black Bryan Adams / Eric Clapton model, but my brother-in-law got a hold of it and did some cool staining to it, so it's actually green, and we've done some modifications to it as well. And we turn over to, well, hockey headquarters, because I love hockey, but that's just for decoration. And of course, you can't be in a studio without having Hawkeye and the gang. So we got our MASH pitcher, signed, of course. And this is really just a work area for people when they're coming over and they're sitting waiting for somebody to finish, and they can watch some TV. And of course, you have to have two remotes because somebody always steals one. And of course, we have more hockey paraphernalia. Now here's the main area where all the mixing's done. Of course, I'm a guitar player for the most part, so I always have my guitar pedal at the ready. And right now I'm using the Boss GT6, which is cool, but I'm actually thinking of going to separate pedals, just because I only really use 3 effects. Then I've got a trusty old Pioneer amplifier that I've had for years and years and years. A video switcher I use just to fill space and basically hold it all in place, and just a cheap 4-channel compressor limiter, gate, etc. I use every once in a while. And of course, I'm running a Pro Tools system, and I use an M-Audio product, so I have to use the M-Audio version of it. And then I've got speakers that are actually homemade speakers made by one of the guys I work with, the cable company, and another set of speakers that are good and simple ones. These are not what you would call studio grade by any means, but they do the job, they sound good, and I'm usually using headphones, so it's not a big deal to me. Eventually I will get some professional ones, but all in time. And then of course the computer itself, which is an iMac, and I'm running Pro Tools, as you can see. And I use 2 separate monitors, one for a mixing board and one for the actual waveforms, just because I find it easier than flipping screens all the time. And nothing can happen, of course, without the dongle, which is for Pro Tools. The new version, Pro Tools 9, doesn't need it, but or at least you can use any device with it, as far as I know. But I haven't bothered to go that route. And right now I'm using a very simple donated to us M-Audio input device, which is the Fast Track. It's only a USB, but it does the job, and it'll do 2 inputs, and the only thing it doesn't have is phantom power, but I accomplished that through just a simple mixing board, which is just a live Mackie board, which has phantom power in it. And basically I'm only using one channel just to add the 48 volts. And then I have a very simple but effective 88 key MIDI keyboard that I use for all of the MIDI tracks: piano, guitars, bass, backgrounds, everything basically. And I have a very old tape-based multi-track, which is Yamaha MT8X, which I'm actually only using for monitoring if I have a number of people in the studio. Of course, you can't sing without music, and we got hymns, and a little bit of learning along the way. I'm trying to learn mastering and dithering right now, which is boring to some, but I actually find it interesting. And I'm using Fostech headphones. And then we have the recording room, which is through the window, and that leads to where a lot of the magic happens. So I just installed this door so we can actually have some separation, and this is the recording area. And it starts with a very simple microphone that was it's actually kind of loaned to me, which I believe it's called an Apex. It does what it's supposed to do. It's got a good sound and a $25 pop filter. And then I've got a custom-made music stand so that we can actually see the lyrics that we're singing. And right here we have a monitor return so people can plug in. And I actually keep another monitor here while the mixing is going on, or when we're doing a click track or we're starting a song. It's always good for the singer or the drummer or whoever's working in here to see what's going on. So I'll actually put the shuttle information and starts click track right onto the screen. And I've got the guitar amps. One's a really simple one for my kids, and then I have my old PV down below, which is a bass amp. I have a guitar stand that's in here in case electric guitar guys come. And then I have a Pearl drum set, which I got on Kijiji for fair price. And I actually sent away for the cymbals. There's a professional drummer, Carl Albrecht, who plays with Paul Beloche, who promotes these, and they haven't failed me yet. Meinl cymbals sound really good, and these were relatively cheap. I do have one Sabian, but for the most part they're all Meinl, and they do what they're supposed to do. And then I've got good old moon gel, so I don't have to stick tape all over these. It's a simple set, but it's good for recording. Some cool posters I got from local Christian bookstore here in Sarnia. And my Old Faithful tenor sax that I've had since high school and continue to play every once in a while. And then we've got just an extra chair, and then we've got the piano, which severely needs a tuning, but it's nice to have it. And then my wife's flute, and she does play every once in a while, but haven't really had a chance to do anything on recording. So that's pretty much the studio. So hope you enjoyed, and as new things come in the studio, I'll be sure to post another video and let you know what's going on and how we're doing what we're doing. I do plan to get some more equipment, looking at a M-Audio mixing board and some things to go with it, but I'm still learning about it. I want to make sure that any purchase we do is done basically for the right reason, that we're not just buying equipment for the sake of buying it, that it's going to have a purpose, and that it'll help our music. And the other thing that we're doing is learning the mastering process. Right now we have a really cool guy helping us in Indiana, Chad Evans, who is mastering our music for us, but we do plan to learn, and he's been helping us along the way with mixing and mastering. So that's it. That's our studio.